In this video, we're going to take a look at how we can patch a background frame. Now, there may be some times when you're updating your Viewlet project or while you're editing it that you want to either blur out or hide some sensitive information. In this case, maybe we want to go ahead and hide the email addresses displayed here. Now, we could go ahead and reshoot this screenshot if needed, but there's a far easier way to do this. We'll show you a couple of tips and then you can play around with this on your own. What we're going to do is we're going to actually use a shape object, place it on top of the area that we want to hide, and then you'll see the results. So we're going to go ahead and choose the shape tool. We're going to use the rectangle. The fill color in this case is going to be white at 100%, and we're not going to have any border. Now, if you have to blend a fill color with the background, just use the color picker. In this case, we won't need to do that since we're white for the fill color, and that's what the background's going to be. So the next step is simply draw the shape over the area that you want to patch or hide. Click off of it to make sure that everything is hidden, and it's done. Now let's go ahead and hide that other email address. So we'll do the same thing. And then click off. Now, once you have the areas hidden, keep in mind that if the slide's duration is for a certain amount of time and you need to hide that area for that same amount of time, you'll need to increase its duration along the timeline to match what you need. In this case, the slide's only going to show for 1 second, so this patch is also going to display for 1 second. Now, the next step is you have to decide, okay, do I just want to keep this here, or do I want it to blend seamlessly as part of this background frame? Well, there's two approaches that you can take. We'll show you both and use what works for you. The first one is simply select the layer and lock it. This prevents that layer then from being edited, so the patch can't be accidentally moved while you're working on the slide. So we can actually do this with both of these. That's one approach. Another approach is to just go ahead, export this background frame with the patches included, and then replace it so that it's all seamlessly as one background frame. That's the preferred method. So let's go ahead and actually unlock the layers and take it that step further. So we'll go ahead at this point and save this slide. Then we'll go into our publishing wizard. In the publishing wizard, select the publishing target for image set, and then go ahead and make sure that you have the destination where you want to save the particular image. Okay, by default it will go ahead if you want to see where it's going. In this case, it's going to the project folder, into the output folder where everything is published to for this particular project. So we'll go ahead and keep the image type as JPEG, though you can choose any of these. Actually, let's go ahead and choose PNG. And then we're going to go ahead and have a prefix. This is the beginning of the file name when it's exported, so we can identify it easier. So we'll just call this patch. And then finally, make sure you choose correct page layout settings. So we'll go ahead and open up our page layout. We don't want to have hidden slides. We don't need a slide title. We don't need balloons or notes. We don't need the master layer. In this case, you might need it. We don't need any slide icons. We don't need the cursor path, correct answers, or quiz responses, because simply patching the background frame is all we're going to do, so we don't need all these extra options. And we're only going to export out the current slide. So let's go ahead and do that now, and then we'll publish it, and then it shows us the path to where it's been published out. We can browse to open up that folder, and there you see there's our patch image. So let's actually go ahead and close this, and then we'll go ahead and close this, and then there's one last step to take. Let's go ahead and remove these layers. So we'll select it, hit the delete key, select it, hit the delete key, and then over here we're going to open up our background frame for this slide, so we'll go ahead and double click. Now this is the current background frame. Let's go ahead and remove that. Then we're going to browse to where we just exported out that particular image for this project. Remember, it was in the output folder for the project folder we're working on. There's the image. We're going to open it. There's a preview of it. We'll go ahead and click OK. And now you'll notice that the email addresses are definitely out of view. In this case, since we replaced the background image, they're actually no longer part of the background frame. So the patches are no longer actually patches. It's removed them entirely, the areas we wanted to hide. That's all there is to it. If you have any questions on this topic or any others while working with Carbon's products and services, please visit us online at www.carbon.com. Happy Viewletting!